Hello, I'm Paul, and this is Paul Plays with Fire. Welcome. Come on in, grab a chair. Normally when I end up my videos, I end up with a plate of food. This time we're starting out with me finishing up a plate of food. Why is that? Because I'm going to show you how to clean up after all the fun part is done. We just made a big old mess of food. We got a big old mess to clean up. You can see it now. And so we're going to do our best to get that cleaned up and show you how we do it. Normally when I clean up, I really go ahead and eat first. I never clean up before I eat. I always kind of let it cool down a little bit, then I come back out, turn it on, let it heat up a little bit, and then scrape I'll show you what to do. Scrape all the stuff off, use some water to steam it, and then finish it off with some oil. Let's go through that process now. We're just gonna start it. We'll start all 4 burners. It's still got some residual heat, but that'll help us along with the cleaning process. And our first step is just to clean up all the food and loose particles that we have around. And we got plenty of them this time. And one part you don't see is at the top of my griddle, there's a little hole in there and it goes down into a little catch pan. That's where all my food debris goes. And so the goal here is to just get everything to the food debris hole, the catch trap. And using my scraper, that works out pretty slick. That works out really easy. Go through it again, because it takes a couple passes. And if you got anything that's stuck down, like burned down, now's a good time to work on it, because you want this to be nice and smooth and level when you get done. And debris free. That's getting pretty good. Okay, now another little secret. Rag in a box. They're heavier duty than paper towels. They're really the consistency of paint, like paint rags, but they're great for cleaning off the griddle. So that's probably hot enough for now. We don't want to burn ourselves. We'll turn the burners off now that it's hot enough that it'll steam. Now watch, I've got my bottle here. We're just gonna put some water down. And that will steam up any of the debris that's down there. And then you just kind of methodically go around the edges and push all that water off. And the steam is working its magic as we do that. The steam is cleaning. As you can see, I'm getting quite a bit of debris and whatnot. I'll go to this side, same thing. Time for a new towel. And like I said, these are a little more expensive. The rag in a box are a little more expensive than regular paper towels, but they work so much better because they're so much heavier duty. And for wiping my hands and stuff, I'll use paper towels. But for this, there's just no substitute for rag in a box. Rag in a box and some hot water, some steamy water. There, now that's getting pretty clean, but we're gonna make another pass anyway, and I'll show you why. Once we get all the debris up off of there, go back at it with another little bit of water. Now, because I've turned the heat off, it doesn't steam quite as much, but it's still steaming. It's still doing its job. But now when I rub it, I'm hardly getting any debris off the griddle anymore. It's coming really clean. Also, while I'm here, I'll go ahead and give the tops and sides a rub. It's easy to get those, easy for those to be neglected. Okay, now normally I'd quit here, but since I'm showing you how to do it, I want to show you the results. I'll put a little water on there, just for the purpose of wiping it up. People worry about Blackstones. It's like, oh, aren't you eating the food you ate 2 weeks ago because it just stays on there? Well, no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. That's pretty clean. For what I just did, that's really clean. I mean, it looks like it's a black, dirty surface, but it's really clean. And now the final, most important step is oiling it up. I see so many horror stories on the internet of people open up the grill. I said, I used it 2 weeks ago and it was fine then, and now it's just solid rust because they didn't put enough oil on it. You can't be afraid to use oil. I personally use avocado oil. Use whatever oil you choose, but I apply a really good coating on it. Definitely get into the corners because that's, if rust is gonna start, it seems to start there first. And then rag in the box again. And we'll just, and our goal now is not to get the liquid up, get the oil up, but to spread it around. So we're not gonna change out rags so often this time. We'll probably not change it out at all. We're just gonna wipe everything down, make sure it's got a nice shiny coat of oil. And we know those corners are good because we got them real good. And if there's extra oil sitting on top, that doesn't hurt anything. Actually, that's a good thing, it's a protectant. I sometimes, when I get done, and I'll probably do that today too, wipe the tops here, wipe the tops and the sides. There, that's just the color of the oil, that's all that is. And then, one final piece, I'll just put a little squirt on there, a little squirt at the corners. And then the very first thing I do when I go to use it the next time, is I heat it up just a little bit and wipe the oil down real good to get any, whatever. I keep it covered when I'm not in use, and I keep it in the garage so it's not out in the elements. But then I wipe off all this excess oil and start with a pretty dry griddle. Depending on what I'm cooking, I'll put a little oil down first. But really the goal is to just get all this protective oil off and then start from a fresh, clean surface. Well, I hope this helped you out. This has been Paul Plays with Fire. Thanks for watching.